Your heart is racing. Your palms are sweaty. You just read an email from your boss. Nothing about that sentence is a lion. But your body doesn't know that. Somewhere behind your eyes, an ancient alarm system just went off. The same one that once saved your ancestors' lives on an open savanna. And the real answer for why it's still doing this to you over an email is far stranger than you think. For most of human history, danger meant teeth and claws. It meant a rustle in tall grass. It meant a shape moving where nothing should be moving. Your ancestors who survived long enough to have children were the ones whose bodies reacted first and thought second. Heart rate spikes. Blood leaves the stomach. Muscles flood with oxygen. All of that happens before a single conscious thought forms. Why would evolution build a body that reacts before it thinks? Because thinking is slow. And slow gets you killed. The neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades studying exactly this pathway. He found that a threat signal can reach your amygdala, the brain's alarm center, in a fraction of the time it takes to reach the parts of your brain responsible for conscious reasoning. There's a shortcut. Scientists call it the low road. Sound hits your ears, shape hits your eyes, and your amygdala fires off a full-body alarm before your thinking brain even knows what it's looking at. You don't decide to be afraid. You are afraid, and then you find out why. This made perfect sense on the savannah. A half-second head start on a predator was the difference between reproducing and becoming lunch. But here's where it gets strange. Your amygdala can't tell the difference between a lion and a deadline. It can't tell the difference between a snake in the grass and a red notification bubble on your phone. To your alarm system, threat is threat. Speed matters more than accuracy, so it fires anyway. Think about the last time you felt your stomach drop before opening a text message. Nothing was chasing you, and yet your body responded with the exact same chemical cocktail your ancestors used to outrun something with teeth. Cortisol, adrenaline, a racing pulse. All dressed up with nowhere dangerous to run. The biologist Robert Sapolsky, who spent years studying stress in wild baboons, put it simply, zebras don't get ulcers. A zebra's stress response turns on when a lion appears and turns off the moment the lion is gone, one way or another. But you are not a zebra. You can conjure the lion with a thought. You can lie awake at midnight replaying a conversation from 3 years ago, and your body will manufacture the exact same stress chemicals as if that conversation were happening again, right now, in the dark. Your imagination can trigger the same alarm as an actual predator. What kind of animal does that to itself? This is the strange inheritance sitting inside your skull. A system built with breathtaking precision for a world that mostly no longer exists. Physical danger used to arrive suddenly and leave suddenly. A predator showed up, your body responded, and then either you survived and the threat was gone, or you didn't. Modern stress doesn't work that way. It doesn't show up and leave. It lingers. A difficult boss doesn't vanish after one encounter. A financial worry doesn't resolve itself in 60 seconds. So the alarm that was built for a sprint gets stuck running a marathon it was never designed to run. And your body pays for that mismatch. Chronic activation of that ancient alarm system has been linked to elevated blood pressure, disrupted sleep, and a weakened immune response. Findings that have shown up again and again across stress research. The very system that kept your ancestors alive for 100,000 years can quietly wear down the body of someone who never once had to outrun a predator. Here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. This isn't a flaw in your brain. It's a feature working exactly as designed. It just never received the update. Evolution moves across tens of thousands of years. Smartphones arrived a couple of decades ago. Your nervous system is still running software built for grasslands, caves, and nighttime predators. And it has been asked to somehow interpret a world of inboxes, deadlines, and infinite scrolling. Of course it misfires. It was never given a chance to catch up. So what do you actually do with an alarm system this old and this literal? You can't rewire 100,000 years of biology by willpower alone, but you can change what you feed it. Researchers studying the stress response have found that the body doesn't always distinguish between fear and excitement either. They're chemically almost identical, which means the same racing heart that shows up before a hard conversation can be relabeled by your mind as readiness instead of danger. Your amygdala doesn't need you to eliminate the alarm. It needs you to tell it convincingly that the lion has already passed. Breath is one of the oldest tricks for doing exactly that. A slow exhale signals safety to a nervous system that is otherwise listening only for danger. It's not magic. It's information, delivered in a language older than words, the same language your ancestors' bodies used long before anyone had a name for stress. Movement works the same way. Your body built its stress response around the assumption that fear would be followed by running or fighting, some physical release for all that surging adrenaline. When the lion appeared, you sprinted, and the chemicals did their job and then drained away. But a stressful email doesn't ask your legs to do anything, so the same chemical surge just sits there, unused, with nowhere to go. This is part of why a short walk after a hard conversation can feel disproportionately calming. You're not just distracting yourself, you're finally giving an ancient system the physical release it was built to expect all along.